go to the far reaches of space, and some will go to the bottom of the ocean. What you have chosen to do for your country, by devoting your life to the service of our country, is the greatest contribution that you could make.
Those the powerful words of President John F. Kennedy in 1961. And 58 years later, they still resonate and capture what our country's military means to all of us. And with that, we welcome you to college football on CBS. Today, Army-Navy, America's game, presented by USAA. And from Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, it's the 120th edition of one of the greatest rivalries and sporting events in the world. From Annapolis, ranked number 23 in the country, 9-2, the Midshipmen of Navy. And with a 3-game winning streak in this rivalry from West Point, the Black Knights of Army. On a drizzly day in Philadelphia, we welcome you, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler with Gary Danielson and partner. An honor and a privilege to be here to call this one again today.
It always is my 11th one, and each one I'm more humble than the last one. Quite a thrill.
Well, you know, a year ago, it's almost a flip from what we see today. Last year, Army came in with a 9-game win season with a chance for 11, which they did. And now it's Navy flipped around, and they've got the 9-2 campaign.
Brad, we all know this. In football, they say the quarterback gets too much credit in a win and too much blame in a loss. But there's also another saying. When you get too far down that depth chart at quarterback, a lot of bad things happen. Last year was Navy that played 3 quarterbacks. This year it's been Army that's had the problem at quarterback, and it shows.
And it's a flux situation for them, and it's not going to help them too much.
It is. We don't exactly know who will we see in this game. Kelvin Hopkins, their starter, warmed up. Jabari Lawes will not play. Christian Anderson could be the starter. We might see a 4th quarterback in this game. You can see Kelvin Hopkins, number 8. There's the backup quarterback on crutches, and there's Christian Anderson, the number 3 quarterback. So that, again, you come into this game, the quarterback has been the story in this game in this past 3-game winning streak.
As you said, last year it was Navy that had a problem. They certainly don't have a problem at that position this year.
No, Malcolm Perry has been given the wheels to the stern of the ship, and that ship has been full speed ahead for this Navy offense. 250 yards rushing when he played quarterback 2 years ago, but now he's brought the passing game to it. Malcolm Perry has been the difference at this position and why Navy is so highly ranked.
And he is the player of the year in the AAC coming in. So a dynamic player at that spot. Jeff Monken, the head coach at Army, a disappointing season, he said, but that taste can go out of their mouth if they can pull off the win today. So Navy won the toss and deferred, and that means the Black Knights of Army will have the football first. Playing for the Commander-in-Chief trophy. If Army wins it, they retain. If Navy wins it, they'll take it back to Annapolis. And as our Commander-in-Chief makes his way to the sideline, we're just about set for the 120th Army-Navy game. But before we do kick it off, we go to the 3rd member of our team, Jamie Erdahl.
For the 3rd time in his presidency, Donald Trump is at this game. The first when he was president-elect, and now this is 2nd time as president. He visited both locker rooms when he arrived to the stadium, first with Army and then with the Naval Academy. The players were fired up. I spoke with both sets of teams. And when he was in the Naval Academy locker room, he signed an executive order stating that players who play at the military academies are able to go on and fulfill a professional football career after they play for these schools. Tremendous athletes end their careers often at this game at Army-Navy, Brad. So it is an exciting prospect for these players to complete this game and have a future in the NFL.
And for so many years, of course, you had to wait until your service commitment was over to have that opportunity. And there are several guys on these teams that may get that chance to play professional football.
Army gets the ball first. They have a 3-game winning streak. Remember this, they have scored on their opening drive 3 years in a row to take the lead.
Remember, Navy had that 14-game streak. Then Army ended it. They've got a 3-game streak of their own, and that's why it's so important to the Navy midshipmen to go out with a win, because they don't want to be a class that never had the opportunity to beat Army. It all started in 1890 between these two military academies, and for the 120th time, here we high short kick, running up on it at the 17 is Walters, but he only got to about the 19 before he got leveled. And Walter Little lit him up.
Festivities are over. It's enough for the
niceties.
Yes, all the shaking of the hands, that is done. Play football.
So the Chick-fil-A starting lineups as Army comes out. And it's going to start with Christian Anderson, first Army quarterback to make his first start in the Army-Navy game since T.D. Decker in 1979. And immediately a big hit on Sandon McCoy again.
Yeah. And if you want to watch some good football, watch Jackson Pittman, number 99, the middle of that Navy defense.
Second down and 10. Trying to get an option pitch, and he can't. He's dropped for a loss again, and it's Pittman, who Gary just talked about. So we take a look at the rest of the Army lineup for you. Sandon McCoy so far has been met at the line of scrimmage. And the Army's going to throw. No, they're not. Sack. Jackson Perkins and Jacob Springer are there.
The disappointment in the Navy defense a year ago forced Ken Niumatalolo to make changes. More attacks, and this time Springer from his Raider position, I think that's what it is, or the outside position, kind of blitzes, no one to throw that football, and negative play, negative play, negative play. And Army is #1 in the country in the least amount of negative plays. They're 3 for 3.
So Zach Harding's got a punt inside his own 10, and he just got it away. They'll clear out of the way. It's going to take a nice bounce for Army, and it'll roll out at about the 32-yard line.
So the last 3 years in a row, Army has scored touchdowns on their opening offensive drive. 3 and out.
So let's check the Chick-fil-A starting lineups going the other way for the Midshipmen of Navy. And we've talked about him, Player of the Year in the AAC, and why not, with unbelievable numbers. Third straight year, over 1,000 rushing, 1,500 yards on the ground this year, and over 1,000 in the air, and has accounted for 25 touchdowns. And that's the group that joins him, led by his center, the captain of captains, Ford Higgins. Perry rolling to throw on the first snap, but he'll run instead. And look at that move. Only got about 2 out of it, though. Nice job by Cole Christensen to stay home, the middle linebacker, to make the stop.
And I think that's a win. 400 yards of Malcolm Perry's rushing yards this year have been on scrambles on called pass plays. That's when he's most dangerous.
Defensively for Army, we'll see the lineup on the bottom of your screen. Cole Christensen, who just made that tackle, their leading tackler, and on the back end, Elijah Riley, one of the great defensive backs in all of college football. Second down and 8. And straight up the left side is Carruthers. And a swarming defense keeps him shy of the first down. They're going to bring up third down and about 3.
Pulling inside, Nesterwitz, number 73, comes around the corner, but this Army defense, they move all the time up front. They don't have a lot of experience coming back, but they're constantly moving and very difficult to block.
So here's third down for Navy, a 45% team in third down conversions on the year. Army kind of showing blitz. They'll back out of it, and it's the fullback, and he's not going to get there. Carruthers hammered by Eric Smith. Holy mackerel, there's some hitting going on.
I'm not hyping this at all. There is beauty in watching these defensive players play like this. You know, I mean, two just hungry defensive teams that find the ball carrier on these types of offenses. They're familiar with each other. They face it every day in practice and spring practice. They almost know what's coming.
That's our referee cam. You saw that last
cool.
replay from.
Yeah.
And it's not 3 and out, it's 3 and knockout so
exactly.
far. So another punting situation this time for Navy, and Owen White to kick. Miranda back deep, high, lazy kick. And everybody get out of the way, just like the previous punt from the other direction. And this one rolls dead around the 22-yard line. So opening 4 minutes. There's some hitting going on. There's a little bit of rain, but everybody's having a good time early in Philadelphia. Connor Slomka in at the fullback spot now for Army behind Christian Anderson. And he'll get the call. And he got 2 tough yards against the Navy defense that we didn't have a chance to set for you in that first series because of 3 quick plays. But here it is defensively. Pittman's already made a couple of plays. Carruthers, one of their captains. And on the back end, you see the defensive secondary. Pick up a 2. That's a plus for Army, so it's 2nd down and 8.
So the get 6 measurement brought in by Brian is that if they can get a combination of 6 of those, their chances of winning goes way up. Studying all the tapes from the Navy games in the past. Get 6.
That's the analytics of it all. 2nd and 8. No pitch for Anderson, but a wide open field. Great run out to the 45 for Christian Anderson.
So you figure you can't go inside, you can't block him. So what do? You just go back to your option game. Slomka gets a great block, number 25, and then you got 2-on-1. You get Springer covering the pitch man, and Anderson said, oh no, I can do this.
We talked to Christian yesterday and said, do you think your game against Hawaii was your best game so far? It certainly was, as far as a career high 114 yards on 12 carries. He got 21 on that one, and a first down for the Black Knights at the 45.
Didn't even play in the first 4 games of the season.
Yeah. So both first downs have come from Christian Anderson runs. The last one on the quarterback sneak. Here, he's got the pitch to Kel Walker, and he is dropped for a loss. On ref cam, the umpire, as you take a look across to Anderson and Slomka, and Anderson kept it again. Boy, he paid the price that time.
You play quarterback in this option offense. You have to be ready to take those hits. That time from the secondary, Kevin Brennan, number 10, is going to fill. And he fills it up.
Yep, that's a fill. Brennan, the bandit back there, the sophomore out of Westfield, New Jersey, with a big hit. And it brings up 3rd down and 4.
Well, they go option again. They've been successful on the option play against Navy twice in the game. Quarterback kept it both times.
They've been great on 3rd down conversions the past couple of years. Not as high this year, but on this drive they have been. Is Anderson going to pitch? Nope. He's going to keep, and he's close.
Yes, beautiful.
I think he's got it.
But you know, that just reminds me of old-time players right there at quarterback. You just string it out, and the last thing you do is give that little fake. Just ran through the tip of a tackle and lunges forward, keeps the clock moving, gets 3 more plays if they don't turn it over. Everything that Army would hope for, they're getting in this drive.
Anderson has 4 first down rushes on this drive.
Again, the strategy for Army would they'd love to go 3.5, 3.5, 3, and then take the first down and 3rd down or 4th down.
McCoy back behind Anderson, just inside the 23 of Navy. He'll come left. He will not pitch here either, and he got close to the 20. Jacob Springer makes the tackle.
Well, Noah Knapp, number 65, up against Jackson Pittman, 99, is a battle. You're going to see it all day. Let's see who's in there this time. I think it's Reeder, number 76, is at center this time. They rotate 10 different starters in that Army offensive line will play in this football game.
Well, that thing looked like a crossword puzzle in the middle of the season when they were in a 5-game losing streak.
Exactly.
But now they're kind of solidified, even though they do move them around. Everybody's a little bit healthier. And short of a first down, but a good run by McCoy. Zion Harrington made the tackle and brings up short yardage again.
It's interesting. Hurry up.
Hurry up and slow down.
Yes. Reeder and Utley, the two backups, are in there in the offensive line already.
McCoy's got the first down at the 10.
Again, this is going to make it a 15-play drive. You saw it. Jeff Monken with his head, nodding his head. Yeah, I love this. I love this. Inside, got some backup offensive linemen. Great double team at the point of attack. Herndon, number 60, 77, Utley. Two new, what you might call them backups, but they're all playing. They're all rolling in for that Army offensive line.
First and goal at the 10 on a 9-minute drive on the 16th play coming up. You look behind Slumka and Anderson on the Army offense. Slumka into the middle of the pile for about 4 or close to it.
Army has 6 offensive linemen in the game. They've got an extra tackle in the game. Luke McLeary, number 68, is in the football game.
You see Army's red zone offense this year. 40 touchdowns out of the 43 scores. And the way they're driving, I don't think we're going to see a lot of kicking going on. Second down and goal. Michael Roberts in there as a wide receiver to the top of the screen. But it's Slumka to the 5. Tyler Pistorio made the tackle.
This reminds me a little bit of the drive that Army made against Air Force. Drove all the way down the field, 15-16 play drive, and then did not score. Had one similar like that against Michigan, threw an interception after driving all the way down the field. Right now that Navy defense says we got to hold for 3 points at the most. See if they can force this Army team into trying a field goal instead of going for a touchdown.
Sandon McCoy back in the backfield with Anderson. Anderson on a counter, trying to keep it, trying to get to the edge, and he is in. Touchdown, Army.
I'll tell you that time, Alex Herndon, number 60, and Noah Utley. Tackle and guard, get the key blocks. Watch them pull around, and then it's the counter and the great patience by the quarterback to set up the block. And the block by Herndon is a decleater, the best you can do.
Here's the swinging gate as the offensive line moves from the left over to the middle. David Cooper in for the point after. Zach Potter to hold. That kick is good.
And that's on a rainy, cloudy, wet day. There's nothing more beautiful to Army football than 18 plays, 78 yards.
You want to keep it away from the Player of the Year in the AAC? Why don't you keep it for 11 minutes and go 78 yards and go up 7-0 late first quarter. Army in front. So only Navy's second possession this quarter. The first one was a 3-and-out. It'll be coming up after this kickoff. Landon Salyers to kick. Garrett Wynn and Chance Warren are back deep. Salyers out of Kingsport, Tennessee. And that one just made the end zone. They let it go, hoping that it would go out of bounds, but it doesn't. So we'll bring it out to the 25-yard line for their second possession. He thought about a throw. What a move. He might still throw it. And he's not going to. He's going to actually lose a yard.
And Cole Christensen's almost playing a spy. We visited with him yesterday, and he said he's dangerous when he drops back to pass. I'll be looking for him. I won't be able to drop like I usually do. His quote was great about the trophy. The trophy's not leaving here, is what he said about the Commander-in-Chief trophy.
And John Luce, his defensive coordinator, said, we talked with Cole about this, You have to watch for his escape hatches. The escape hatches of Malcolm Perry have been closed so far through the first quarter. 7-0 Army will return to Philadelphia after this message in a word. And we start the second quarter in Philadelphia. Army with a 7-0 lead. Malcolm Perry going to work on a 2nd down and 11 to open the second quarter. And he'll keep it. And Malcolm Perry does what Malcolm Perry does. Run the ball beautifully.
When the triple option is working, you don't know where the ball's going. Even from shotgun, these teams now run basically what a lot of teams run. I mean, Oklahoma's running this. The Baltimore Ravens are running a little bit of this stuff.
That's right. Lamar Jackson's made that look pretty good, hasn't he? That's the initial first down today for the Midshipmen. Well, they haven't had the ball much, but they've got a first down in the first 30 seconds of the second quarter. C.J. Williams in the backfield now with Perry. And again, he finds some room and gets about 5 yards. So we welcome you back to Philadelphia and into the booth. Brad and Gary, the best way to keep Malcolm Perry in check, don't let him have the football.
Exactly. Christian Anderson has carried the ball 11 times. That's 44 carries at this pace. But you know Malcolm Perry's just too good of a runner. They're not going to shut him down. Just keep him from those big, long runs. Navy's probing, and now they've got the wind. I wonder if that's going to help him here a little bit because it's significant, I think.
And he's not afraid to throw it over 1,000 yards throwing the football this year. 2nd down and 5. And it's Perry behind Carruthers. First down, side step, inside the 40. He might take it. Malcolm Perry, Navy, touchdown. That time they didn't close the escape hatch. 55 yards.
Cole Christensen had a shot, but this guy's too quick. Coach Kenny says, no, reach out. The best runner Navy's ever had. He went right through Elijah Riley, number 23. He had a shot, made them both miss. Touchdown.
You just said it a moment ago. It's okay if it's 3 yards, 6 yards, but don't let him get a big one. He just got a big one. Bijan Nichols in for the point after. And while Army's touchdown drive was long, time sustaining, not so much for Navy's on that one. And Malcolm Perry, total offense, the record for a season is his now. 4 plays, 75 yards. And Malcolm Perry, with his 20th touchdown run of the year, ties us up in Philadelphia 7-7. So less than 2 minutes on the Navy scoring drive, almost 11 minutes on Army's opening touchdown drive. Nichols to kick, and Brandon Walters and Artis Hobbs back deep on the other end. Fair catch called for at the 1-yard line, so they'll bring it out for Army at the 25-yard line. Michael Roberts and Cam Harris are the wide receivers. Harrison already has a catch today. They're split both ways on the first down at the 35. Anderson on the keep.
Look at that pursuit coming in inside out.
Paul Carruthers made the stop.
You stutter at all. One of the captains, Paul Carruthers, number 51, was named captain for this Navy team. He wasn't even a starter coming into this game. But Coach Niumatalolo said, this year I'm naming my captains after winter workouts. I want leaders. And Carruthers is one of the guys he's named. First time in Navy history, 4 captains for this Navy team.
Carruthers, the senior out of Flowery Branch, Georgia, and both his brothers also played at the Naval Academy. Straight up the gut for about 4 goes Slumka.
So what does it take to be a leader of the leaders? And that's what you look at on this Navy team. Carruthers and Higgins, Malcolm Perry, all Marines in the future.
And Higgins, the captain of captains, I said that earlier And you may have wondered what that is. That's voted on by all 33 of the varsity sports at West Point, or rather the Naval Academy, to be a captain. And so he's the captain of captains. Taking it wide this time is Walters. Got about 2, that's it.
Number 11, Evan Bachman that time, one of the 2 safeties. Kevin Newberry, the defensive coordinator, watch the safeties in this position, almost in a linebacker position. He says, I'd like to recruit kids at safety that played quarterback. I'm glad he didn't recruit me, because I couldn't do that right there.
Well, we're going to have a punt, even though it's 4th down. They had been successful on 4th down. This one's a little deeper, though, 4th and 3. So Zach Harding, high snap, handles it.
Oh, nice into the wind.
Kick away, and wow, this is a beauty. And it is going to be downed inside the 5-yard line. You can't do it any better than that. Great punt. 10:24 remaining in the first half. A 55-yard punt. Navy's going to be in a little bit of a hole offensively in a tie football game when we come back.
The sun is coming out here in Philadelphia. We have a tie game here at the Army-Navy game. It's a turkey tradition that's carrying itself into this special Saturday in December. Every year, Roger Staubach invites friends and family to his home outside of Dallas to play a turkey bowl. It's a flag football game. This year was the 40th anniversary of the Staubach Turkey Bowl, and to make it special, the Heisman winner christened the game balls for this week, and he had a couple extra friends there too, like Emmitt Smith and Mike Singletary. Well, here's what they look like. You've got signatures from the Navy Heisman winners, Roger Staubach and Joe Bellino. We'll talk about him later, and that special 120 because, of course, the 120th edition of this game, guys.
Thanks, Jamie. And the uniforms being worn by the midshipmen today, a throwback and a dedication to the Heisman winners, Joe Bellino and Roger Staubach, in 60 and 63 respectively, and they're sweet looking unis. And there's the ball Jamie was talking about.
I tried to get Jamie to get one of those footballs for me. I don't think she's going to be able to do it.
Well, so far she had her hand on it.
I know.
If she doesn't fumble. 1st and 10. Navy trying to get something going offensively before halftime. They only got about 1.5 yards from Jamel Carruthers as Jeremiah Lowry.
Now let's just remember right here, Navy won the toss, deferred, so if they get a drive here, they've only had 14 plays in the first half. You know, it's less than a half of what Army has.
President now in the Army section.
Got a good seat right there.
That's not a bad one.
But remember, they get the ball to start the second half. They could flip this very easily with a drive here.
Well, they haven't had a good starting position in the last 2. They started at the 3 and then the 9. They worked it to the 11. Carruthers gets it to the 16 about, and it'll bring up 3rd down. Jamel Carruthers is quite a story, that's for sure.
Yep.
Started off the season on the JV. Made his first appearance against Tulsa. They saw him on the JV and they were watching him once they brought him in, and they GPS'd him at running about 21 miles an hour, and they said, wait a minute, we got to have a place for this guy somewhere.
Yeah.
3rd and 2. Carruthers, 1st down.
Well, there's no doubt that the fullback position, the B-back position for Navy, looks different than it did in the past. They had bulldozers there before. Now they've got speed. They hit it. Nice trap block coming across for Forney, number 68. Hits it full speed. More speed at that B-back, fullback position.
And Carruthers is considered the lightning of the Thunder and Lightning group. Nelson Smith is the Thunder man. 1st down. Just over 3 to go. Perry wants to throw. Will not throw. Goes out of bounds. Got what he could. Tiptoes out of bounds at the 29-yard line.
Get the feeling on those pass plays when he rolls out. Army feels good if he gains less than 8-9 yards on the play. We hold them 5. Wow, that's like a stop.
Really. And Malcolm Perry is just past Napoleon McCallum. Napoleon played, what, about 6 years with the Raiders in the NFL? That's pretty good company.
Yes.
2nd down at 5. Here's a pitch. And that goes to McKay Cow on the edge. He's going to be short of the 1st down.
You know, we haven't had a pass from Malcolm Perry this year, but at slot back, he threw one last year. He takes the reverse pass on the opening drive, had a chance to hit a big play, did not, but he had the gloves on.
Yeah.
Remember? He had the gloves.
He's starting to take it off right there. He's got him off today.
He's thrown more in last year's game at slot than he has at quarterback in this year's game.
Speaking of gloves off, the gloves are always off in this game. Perry keeps it, got the first down, out to the 39.
And the dynamic changes because the special player can change the dynamic. Fake it inside, great mesh, keep it. He was reading all the way to the outside, and bang. Cole Christensen says,
I thought I had it.
Man,
I thought I had it.
I think Malcolm Perry will get an opportunity to play NFL football as a slot back.
Just under a minute and a half to go. Now it's Carruthers leveled at the line of scrimmage. Christensen and Smith, those two inside linebackers, made the stop.
We talk about the attire of Adam versus BJ, do we?
That's right. He's usually got him by a little bit.
Right.
Here's a pass upcoming. Perry all day to throw. I forget about it. It's not a pass. It's a run. And he's still running. And Malcolm Perry with a blocker out in front. Down the sideline. Finally bumped out of bounds. But he's got another big gainer. And there's an opportunity for Navy with 44 seconds to go to cash in before halftime.
I tell you, I think Army should treat every pass by Navy as a run play, because that's where it's most dangerous. Once he gets there, and you see Fells, number 23, gets a good block to the right side of the screen to just free him for those extra yards. But every time he drops back, he creates space, and that's when he's as dangerous as can be.
Navy set up at the 17-yard line. Plenty of time left, but only one time out left. Carruthers blasts it inside the 15, and the clock will wind, and Navy will try to umpire. Guys, Coach Niumatalolo saying, let's hurry it up. They do as quickly as possible. A half minute to go. See if Perry just does his thing here. He will try.
Good call by defense that time. They came with a slot blitz, and they forced Perry inside. Did not let him give him the space on that play.
Forces them to take their final timeout.
Yes, coming off the edge this time, they just corner the quarterback and give him no wide field to go to. They're playing quarterback the whole way this time. Coming in, and then the scrape by Cole Christensen that time from the edge.
On 3rd and 5, Perry. And he's going to try to get to the corner. He did. He got the first down. Out of bounds. Use 6 seconds to get that first down.
You gotta play the pass play like a run play. Once he gets the space, he can't be stopped. Nobody on this Army defense is fast enough that he can't get the corner.
They actually spot this at the 1-yard line. I thought he went out around the 4, but
now,
he swivel-hipped it to the 1, I guess.
Here's the question. Can you risk a run here? If you run and don't make it, can you get another play off?
13 seconds, no timeouts. 1st and goal.
You might. You might.
You might not either.
Exactly.
They started this drive at their own 9-yard line. 1st and goal. This is Malcolm Perry now, an end around to Chance Warren. He'll throw it. And Carruthers got it. Touchdown. We've been waiting for a pass for about an hour. We didn't know it was going to be Chance Warren.
Well, they schemed it up. It was a rollout, but it was a rollout with their receiver.
And it's in Philadelphia of all places.
Exactly, the Philly special. How about that? Nice call by Navy. Used the clock wisely, saved the play and the opportunity for the field goal, but they get 6 and a chance for 7.
Bijan Nichols, the 7th is good. They started the drive at the 9-yard line. They went 91 yards in 12 plays and capped it with this one.
Here's Warren. Here's the TD receiver right there. Pitch it out. Sneak the fullback out. Army sees it a little late, and it's a perfect throw just over the outstretched arm of Lowry.
It looked like a Phil Necro knuckleball, but it got to number 34, and that's all that matters.
They don't throw a lot, but that was a pretty throw.
That is one happy receiver. And we are at halftime. Boy, what a way to go the final 4.5 minutes, huh? In a tie game, Navy turned it around on a long touchdown drive. And this, again, is how it looked. Perry to Warren. Warren with the lob to the corner, and Carruthers gathers it in. Huge play right at the end of the second quarter. And with that, at halftime, the Midshipmen are going to have a touchdown lead of 14-7. And Jamie on the field with Coach Monken.
You got a particular side you want to stand on?
You can stand right there, Coach, as we talk about your defense. You had them contained up until that last drive. What'd you learn about the way they're running this offense that you can fix in the second half?
They're doing a really good job with the gun stuff. We're giving them too many yards there. And that Perry guy's really good. I mean, he's had 2 long runs, and we haven't done a good job of knocking him down. So give him credit. We got to do a better job of containing that guy and not giving him big plays. And right there at the end, that was a good play. We had a guy to cover him, and we just didn't do a very good job with it.
And how about Christian Anderson in his first start?
He's working really hard out there. He's doing a good job for the most part, making decisions. You know, not a bunch of mistakes, but a couple things we can do better. We're trying to work on those at halftime right here.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks a lot.
So they'll go work on that at halftime and hope to stop Navy when they open the third quarter on offense. Malcolm Perry's been nothing short of sensational in the first half. He's got his team in front 14-7. Adam, Rick, and BJ, the Geico halftime report after this word from your local station. And we want to thank Pete Radovich, by the way, for our sensational open that had President Kennedy's words from 1961. It was brilliant open, and we're just about set to open the third quarter. And while we can't match Jamie Erdahl ever in cap wearing, Gary Danielson and I are giving it a shot.
Yeah.
We welcome you back, everybody. Good first half, 14-7. Malcolm Perry's been everything we expected.
All right, so you grew up playing football. When a guy goes back to pass, what are you supposed to yell?
Pass, pass,
Don't
pass.
do that if you're Army anymore. It's been off the pass play. That's what I took off the whole first half. When Malcolm Perry, as the coach said, Jeff Monken said right there, he's pretty good.
He's pretty good, and he was sensational
I think even
on the ground.
Roger the Dodger Staubach says that's pretty good scrambling
That's
right there.
pretty good scrambling. And of course, the touchdown pass wasn't his. It was Chance Warren to Carruthers. And they get the football first to start the third quarter. I think it's imperative for Army to find a way to stop Navy on this opening third quarter drive. Salyer's kick, fair catch taken at the 11-yard line by Chance Warren. And we check in with the aforementioned Jamie Erdahl.
It's all about the fight to the finish if you are Ken Niumatalolo and this Navy team. That was his message in the locker room. Also, keep playing to their identity, which is getting the ball to 10 and 34 over and over again. Don't turn the ball over. And also that Philly special, little twist. He's calling it the Navy special now that we're in Philadelphia.
All right, well, that's good enough.
And
It sure worked, that's for sure.
And that was the word of the offseason for Navy. And all their workouts, the word was everywhere. Finish.
Carruthers got a big opening. Blasts his way for about 9. Jamel Carruthers.
David Forney, number 68, coming around the edge. He's the guy that pulls a lot. Watch him come around and get the block. Inside the handoff, and boom, he takes out Christensen.
So already Navy has moved it out to the 39-yard line. Barry's going to keep it this time, follows his blockers, spins his way for about 11. How about that run?
And as Jeff Monken said, it's been the shotgun formation that has given the Army defense the most problems. Now, shotgun run game, again, this is what the Ravens are doing. It's exactly how they've taken on the NFL to win, what is it, 10, 11 straight games, right? 11 straight games with basically this offense right here when they get in shotgun.
You see Malcolm Perry coming right toward the umpire. Our umpire Cam gets it to midfield. And a first down. And he'll keep it again, and he's got the edge. If he gets the corner, he might be gone. Perry, he'll be pushed out of bounds, but not before he's got another big gainer.
He could feel Morrison, number 2, coming on the angle, but Perry keeps it. And Malcolm Morrison says, can I find an angle to keep this guy from going all the way? He did, and Perry smartly does not take a hit in that situation. One of the things they've been telling Malcolm Perry all year is, get us those yards, but don't take a lot of hits.
closing in on a 200-yard game. And career rushing yards over 4,000. He's got his team in front by a touchdown. Carruthers, nothing there that time. Stoddard was the first guy there along with Dries Patterson.
You got to slow down the fullback and then deal with the quarterback. And this is what Army did this time. Get inside. Wonderful job that time by Rod Stoddard, number 93. Beat his block, got in the lane, and made the stop. And then a bunch of help.
Hey, what's up?
There are a couple of wide receivers out here for Navy. 3 of them, in fact. On second down and 9.
Now 4. That creates space for number 10, though.
And he's wrapped up and dropped half a yard gain. Jeremiah Lowry and company.
It looked like he couldn't get the ball out of the fullback on this play quick enough. Watch it with the mesh right here, and see how he gets pulled in that time. Lowry had him the whole way.
Instead of a mesh, that was a net.
Yes,
Couldn't
exactly.
get it out of there. So it's 3rd and long. Army's got him where they want him, but with number 10, you have to contain him. Third down and 9. You look across the line at Perry.
Don't yell pass.
And he's not going to. Here goes Malcolm Perry. Not only a first down, but all the way to the 6-yard line.
You ever watch sometimes like Little League where one guy's just better than everybody else? This is what Malcolm Perry is doing. I mean, he's defended. Everyone's covered, got a man on him, just gets rid of that man, and then whoop, makes that last move. There's really no defense for this.
18 more yards for Perry to the 6-yard line where it's 1st and goal. 222 yards on 18 carries currently. From the 6 to the Midshipmen. Carruthers got it to about the 3 before he stood up by Eric Smith and company. Jeff Monken knowing it's going to be a long ways back if they get 2 touchdowns behind.
It's what he told Jamie at halftime. That guy's pretty good.
Yeah. The next snap will come around the 5-minute mark.
4 yards.
Army nothing in this quarter. And Navy only 5 yards away from another touchdown. Carruthers straight up the gut. 6 more right there for the Midshipmen.
And this was just straight on blocking. No traps, no pulls, just man on man. Fire out, hand the ball to the fullback. Watch, everybody just go straight out. Just get the guy in front of you. Good block that time from the right side. Honecker, number 71, does a great job cutting off his man and allowing Carruthers to get into the end zone.
And he gets mobbed by his offensive line in the end zone as Nichols is in for the point after. Extra point up and good. With 4:53 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Malcolm Perry has been something else. The big run slipping away, getting them close down to the 6. 2 plays later, a guy that started the season on the junior varsity says, you know what, I think I can play with the big boys. And for the 14th time, Jamel Carruthers in the end zone from 5 yards out, capping a 45-yard drive. It's 21-7 Navy. Nichols to kick off.
All you got is what you got if you're Army. It's not like you're going to start throwing the ball around.
And fair catch called for by Brandon Walters, so they'll bring it out. The Army offense to the 25-yard line. There's a quarterback comparison. It's not like Christian Anderson hasn't played well, but the other guy is pretty special. It'll be Anderson, and he's going to lose a yard.
And he got eaten up from behind that time by a really good football player who has not seen a lot of field because they've been stopping this Army team. Watch the pit. Watch the nose tackle right here.
Doesn't he? In the pit?
In the pit. A late shift, then he defeats the block, then he defeats the fullback, the running back.
He is the pit man.
Yes, he is. Highly recruited player out of Antioch, Tennessee. Big-time recruit. Really wanted him. Pipeline here to Navy, and he has been everything they thought he was going to be.
Same hometown as Keenan Reynolds.
Yes.
He was a fun guy to talk to the other day, Jackson.
That's
Ball's out. And swarmed under a loss on the play. Brandon Walters, and he's lucky he didn't lose it completely.
Yep. Poor snap, then a late handoff, and they're lucky they still have the ball. You're right.
Isaiah Cromartie was right there.
And it's lucky that Army still has the football. You get tackled late like that, watch, ball comes up, drops it, gets it, has it, and he's very fortunate he didn't cough it up.
Nothing there worked for Army. 3rd and 16.
Last time this situation was a sack.
Blitz coming. Anderson trying to get to the edge to get a throw off. He does. It's out of bounds on the Navy sideline and a flag down. Will we get a late hit on the quarterback?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it was before the throw.
Holding, offense number 5. The penalties decline. 4th down.
So they did nothing on that drive again. No drive. And a punt coming up.
Kel Walker was matched up inside against one of those defensive linemen. There you see him pull him down, first by his jersey and then almost a face mask.
Here's the end of the play. That's why I was wondering whether it was rough on the quarterback. Fago took him out of bounds. Zach Harding's got to kick it again. Garrett Wynn's just going to let it roll down inside the 40 somewhere. And with 3:15 remaining in the 3rd quarter, it's all Navy right now. Army unable to come up with any turnovers today.
Just going to say that. What could Army do outside of a turnover to slow this thing or tilt this way back in their direction?
No first downs in the quarter, no yards in the quarter, minus yardage.
Actually, yes, minus 6 yards by Army in this quarter.
Midshipmen from the 40. Straight drop, and here he goes to the edge. Perry got around one, got around the second one, but he actually lost a yard. So nice job of stretching it out there. And running him out of bounds was Bordeaux.
You know, I think they wanted to throw a pass because last time in the snow in 2017 when he rushed for 250, he had a big passing day. He was 1 for 2 for 2 yards in that game. He's got a long way to go to catch up to the 1 for 2.
Yeah, he really does. Right now he's 0 for 0 throwing the football. But they really haven't had to because of what he can do like this. And there goes Malcolm Perry again. Perry taking would-be tacklers with him all the way inside the Army 40.
So it was a bit of a sell job to get Malcolm Perry to switch out a slot where he thought he was best. So the last year when he was playing quarterback, he really wasn't committed. After the Air Force game, they actually moved him out of quarterback out to slot, and Coach Kenny Niumatalolo said it was the worst mistake he made all year. The last 8 games he played slot, and after the Army game, he was sold, and he went to the coach and said, I want to play quarterback, and I want to commit to quarterback.
He talked with Ivan Jasper, the offensive coordinator, about it in the lobby after the game at the hotel. That's how quickly they made the decision for number 10 to become the guys that has the keys to the ship. This was 2 years ago as we saw him in the snow. He's sensational. Guess what? He's almost on that pace right now. He's just 7 yards shy of what he did. It's on a drier field.
Don't you get the feeling that Bill Belichick is saying, stop running so much. I want to draft you in the 5th or 6th round. Don't you get the feeling that he's going, oh,
no. There's what he's done today, 20 for 243.
Is he the next Edelman?
This time makes the cut. Gets down just outside the 30. And for the first time this year, because of the president's declaration, you don't have to serve your military commitment anymore if you have an opportunity to play pro football. You have to do it eventually.
Yep.
But guys like him and Cole Christensen at Army and a few of the other guys on the team, Elijah Riley, they're good enough to get a look, that's for sure.
And Alejandro Villanueva, the tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Has another first down run, and now he has topped what he did a couple of years ago as far as rushing yardage. That might take us to the end of the quarter if they so choose, because they've got a first down at the Army 26-yard line.
Yeah, Villanueva, of course, played for Army. My mistake. Remember, how can you forget a 6'8" wide receiver for Army back in those days?
Well, the fourth quarter, if it belongs to Navy, the streak will be over at 3 years. Army's hoping they can find a way to do something about it in the final 15 minutes. Third quarter comes to a close. Malcolm Perry. I was going to say the game of his life. We thought we saw that 2 years ago. He's bettered it so far. 21-7 at the end of 3, and we'll return to Philadelphia right after this message and a word from your local station. Set to start the fourth quarter of America's game, the 120th edition of Army-Navy. 15 minutes for Army to find out a way to stop Malcolm Perry, or this one will go in the record books for Navy, snapping Army's 3-year winning streak. 21-7 to start the fourth. And we start the fourth with the Middies with a first down at the Army 26. Carruthers going to be swarmed under after about a half-yard gain as we welcome you back to the booth. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jamie Earl down on the field. A lot of good football players out here today.
Right. So if you take the two units, 22, 44 guys, 43 of them about equal.
Pretty good.
The one guy.
Kind of special.
Yeah, that's been the story of the game, obviously. We opened up the broadcast with the edge goes to the Navy quarterback, and it's materialized that way in this football game.
He's got 255 yards rushing right now here in the opening moments of the fourth quarter. Carruthers, woo.
Same play.
Big hit, and the Army defense is not giving up.
Nope.
Eric Smith and company put the stop on Carruthers.
Inside trap play, and it stopped. Nobody going to slow down in this football game.
Third down and 8. Not exactly any kind of chip shot for Navy's kicker where they are right now. So this next third down and long yardage means a lot.
Army needs a negative play here. Get them out of field goal range. Can't allow any points. Do they blitz in this situation?
It's a run all the way for Perry. Up and over and inside the 20 to the 19, but short of the first down.
It is now decision. Will you go 4-down territory in this situation?
And they're going to bring out the field goal unit.
Playing it safe.
Remember, Nichols' last one was blocked. And this one's going to be from about 37 yards out. The last one was blocked by Riley. Dejon Nichols from 37. This one's up and just tucked it inside the right upright.
I'll tell you, in pregame warmups, he was making them from 50 yards easy. He's got a very strong leg.
Caps a 40-yard drive in 9 plays. Nichols from 37, just keeping it in there. 24-7, Navy. And it's 24-7 right now with 12:48 remaining in the ball game.
Just think about the dominance of that Navy defense. Since Brad told you about that 18-play, 78-yard drive, Army has a total 17 plays, 8 total yards.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yes.
4 3-and-outs. So those 3-and-outs that they try to get on the Navy defense, they're doing their job today. Artis Hobbs back deep. Dijon Nichols, a busy kicker today, including that field goal to cap the last drive. This one's returnable from about the 11. Brandon Walters. Walters broke a couple of tackles. Nice return out near the 30-yard line as we check in with Jamie.
Brad, it was 50 years ago Admiral Gary Steele participated in his final march on here at the Army-Navy game after playing and starting in the first 3 in his time at West Point as a tight end. Admiral Gary Steele was the first African-American letter winner in football at Army. He broke barriers in his time playing at Army, but he also made memories. He's in attendance today. He told me on his final night playing the Army-Navy game, he closed his eyes and stood there and burned the memory into his eyes, so when he closes them today, he can feel the pads on his shoulders. This game is just amazing.
It is. Jamie started to tell us that story this morning, and we all got chills.
Yes.
Here's a handoff. Kel Walker. And a couple.
So I've been sitting here trying to think, like, what can Navy do better than what they're doing, and what can Army do to kind of stop that surge from the Navy defense? I think the only thing they really have is back to the option. Remember early in the game they got a couple of option plays?
Pitch it a little more.
Yeah.
Kelvin Hopkins is going to play some.
Great.
He's not 100% by any stretch, but I'm sure he wanted to play, and he's going to come up firing and throws completes. And that draws a response from the Army faithful here.
Missed 3 weeks early in the year, 2 games in a bye week, trying to get him healthy early in the season. The whole season seemed to change for Army when the loss to Michigan.
They thought they had that. They think they should have won it, and the wind sort of came out of their sails a little bit after that.
It was an interesting conversation with Jeff Monken. He felt and believed that the Oklahoma loss kind of spurred them on. The Michigan loss, yes, 2 years ago with Oklahoma, and then this year, the loss to Michigan kind of took the wind out of their sails.
The give inside to Slumpka. It's going to be short of the first down. Clock continues to move.
I still say injuries have a big part of it. When you lose that many quarterbacks, this offense, as you can see, Navy had the injuries at quarterback a year ago. This time it's Army, just not the same.
3rd and short. They pick up the first down. Connor Slumpka, Navy saying the ball came out at the end. Still unpiling bodies to make sure Navy might have it. They do. Guess. No, it's Jarris Warren. I thought it was going to be Pittman.
And that's the get 6 accomplished. 3 and outs, a 4th down stop, and the last one is
rip it out of there.
The fumble.
So Navy takes over with a commanding lead, and just under 5 minutes remaining before the celebration for the Naval Academy can start. There's a get 6. They got them all. A happy group on the sideline. Still got the ball in his hand. Meanwhile, they'll use another ball for the first down for the offense. Perry follows Nelson Smith for another positive gain. Coming up after our game, Adam, Rick, and BJ will break it all down. The college football postgame show presented by Rocket Mortgage.
You know, this Navy team now will be 10-2, 1 loss in the AAC. I was one of the doubters. I'm wondering whether the move by Navy into this conference, I think that debate's over. I mean, they've joined the conference since 2015. Through those 5 years, take away last year, 4 times Navy has been ranked at one time during the season in the top 25. They've not only gone to the AAC, but they've done very well in the AAC.
Perry on the keeper again, positive yardage. No, they were 3-10 last year and only 2-6 in the conference, and now they're going to be 10-2.
The one with the hair and not the hat is Chuck Gladchuk, the AD right there in the middle of it. Kenny Niumatalolo, the head coach, went to him at the end of last year and said we need to change a few things, upgrade the facilities, the weight room. We need to work a little bit with a dietitian. All of those things were put into the program, and it looks like it's paying off.
Perry under center will give it off to Nelson Smith, and he's got the first down.
We were asking during the commercial break, what's the record for rushing in this game?
Eddie Myers. Eddie, who went on to play for the Falcons in the NFL. 278 in 79.
I wonder if Navy is aware he's within, what, 4 yards?
4 or 5 yards. 27 for 274. Over 10 yards a carry for Malcolm Perry. Didn't mean to rhyme that. It just happened that way. And again, a bowl game still in the future for the Midshipmen, the Liberty Bowl against Kansas State. And right now they're just trying to finish off the last 240 here. Perry. Well, there he's got the record, and he's carrying tacklers with him down to the 20-yard line. Another 15.
Well, it's not about individuals for either one of these two academies, but when you got a good player like this, you might as well call his number. Quarterback lead all the way.
289, most by any player in the Army-Navy series. That's 120 games old. That goes back to 1890. What a performance. We've been talking about this for the whole week. You think he can play as well as he did 2 years ago? We got our answer today.
Exactly. With his speed and elusiveness, somebody going to look at him at the next level, I'll tell you that.
Back to Smith, and he goes for 5.
You know, after the lost Army last year, Kenny Niumatalolo took a hard look. You know, one of the things about his program was he kept his coaching staff a lot of stability, had to make a lot of decisions, and he made some tough decisions. Look like they've worked.
They're paying off. Navy about to snap a 3-year losing streak to Army. And for their seniors, the golden opportunity they were hoping for to finally get a win over the Black Knights before they're done playing football. 2nd and 5 at the 15. Malcolm Perry, little hesitation, then up to the edge, around the corner, into the end zone. Touchdown, Malcolm Perry, 15 yards. And that puts him over 300. Most rushing yards in Navy school history, number 2 on the list now. Extra point by Nichols is up and good. Well, he's done it all today, and he did it one more time. 15 yards to cap a 47-yard march. 304 rushing yards for the player of the year in the conference and the player of the day in Philadelphia. How about that capper, Gare?
Yeah, that's the guy to pick up right there. And we were just wondering, you know, Army took a timeout. I wonder if they hadn't, if Navy was just going to take a knee. So they, all right, want to call timeout? We'll call another running play. What a game.
Seems like there's always something special in this game, and number 10 has been the specialty today. You go to a restaurant in Philadelphia and say, what's the special today? Say, Malcolm Perry.
Malcolm Perry for the appetizer, main meal, and dessert. He was everything, right?
Brandon Walters trying to return another one and pay the price again.
That's the way the game started.
Walter Little made the same hit, too.
Play.
Same guy.
Yes.
Well, just look and watch and admire number 10's performance today. Malcolm Perry, the pride and joy of Clarksville, Tennessee, told us the other day, he said, you know what? I come from a town that is mostly Army. His mom and dad, 40 years combined as being in the Army. Army recruited him a little bit late. Air Force wanted him as a quarterback. He wanted to play tailback. He got the keys to the ship this year, and boy, they're sailing.
Sure are.
They're going to be 10-2. There you go. Coach Neil Montalolo's going, you know what? I should have never taken the ball out of your hands.
And he said he's the best runner he's ever coached. Best runner Navy's ever had.
Yeah, he sure looks like it. Final minute. And then the celebration will begin in earnest. And the disappointment on the other side, obviously. Hopkins deep down the middle. It's intercepted. Picked off by Tyler Pistorio. And that'll put the capper on it for the Midshipmen. And flags fly in as frustrations flare up a little bit. So they did one better on their get 6. They get another turnover.
Yeah, Pistorio's an inside linebacker. Read Hopkins' eyes all the way, drew him to the throw, and he was able to intercept the throw. Runs underneath the route. Watch him
After
just
the interception, personal foul, intercepting team number 17 for an illegal blindside block. 15-yard penalty will be Navy's football, first down.
Tony Brown with the blindside block. Well, it was just too hard to stop a special player today. I know we were talking with John Luce, the defensive coordinator for Army. He says, I've been here 30 years, a couple different stints. I've never seen a guy that's scarier with the football. The give inside to midfield to Nelson Smith.
Well, you don't root for anyone in this game, but for the Navy seniors who've been part of the 3 losses to get their win and come out of there without having any win against Army, you got to feel good for the Navy seniors.
They got it now. The 3-game Army winning streak has come to a close. And remember those 2 old friends I talked about that embraced before the game and put the friendship aside for about 3.5 hours? There they are again. So the Midshipmen are 10-2. Army falls to 5-8. And there's the captain of captains in the mix out of Norcross, Georgia. And the best running back I ever been around gets a hug from the coach, and the coach is with Jamie.
Coach, you told us you needed the toughest team and the closest team this season. Is that what just won you the Commander-in-Chief trophy?
No doubt. Love these guys. So happy for them. All the hard work. We got great young men. So does Army West Point, but proud of our guys.
How did you get here to this moment?
Our senior leadership, love these guys. Just great group of young men. I couldn't be more happy for them.
Speaking of your seniors, Malcolm Perry set a record in this game, rushing yards. What does that say about the career he's had here?
I'm a bad coach. How did I bench him last year? I mean, I'm a moron, but he's such a tremendous young man, great player, and really happy for us. He let us.
We'll let you go celebrate.
Thank you.
I don't think you're such a bad coach. Coach, that's your 97th win in your 12th season at the Naval Academy. But you might never see a guy that's as spectacular in the open field as that guy.
Yeah, he brought that team together. Jeff Monken right there was just hugging Malcolm Perry. He knew at halftime, I think, when he talked to Jamie, what was about to happen in that game. They had nobody to stop number 10.
And again, 2 guys that worked together as assistants at Hawaii and then at Navy under Paul Johnson. Guys that talk during the offseason. They try not to talk shop. Great friendship. and friends again now, but one's going to be very happy tonight and one not so much, as both teams head over now to sing their alma mater. And first out, the team that came up on the short end, the Black Knights of Army. And Elijah O'Reilly there you saw in the final notes of the alma mater. And there are no losers in this game. There's only a team that doesn't score as many points as the other. But now to sing second as we head over to the other corner. And the happy midshipmen of Navy who snapped a 3-game Army winning streak. They'll get their moment.
I was
in
watching
the spotlight right here.
Watching Malcolm Perry head over. Even Jamie couldn't catch him on that play. He was right behind him, but couldn't stop him.
The Navy alma mater, the blue and gold. To sing second, usually with a huge smile on your face, and you saw those faces with the Navy alma mater and the victory.
Brad, we are so lucky to be a part of this. When I watch that every year, I just can't believe how beautiful the finish of these games are.
It is special. Ken Niumatalolo, the head coach, with a big win. His team goes to 10-2, and they snap the Army 3-game winning streak. And Commander-in-Chief's trophies heading to Annapolis. How about that? We never know how many more of these we'll get a chance to do, but if we see a better offensive performance than we saw from Michael Perry today, Malcolm Perry, I'll be a little bit surprised.
Absolutely.
How about you, partner?
Be a good one if it is.
That's going to wrap it up for us. For Gary Danielson, Jamie Erdahl, Brad Nessler saying so long from Philadelphia. Final score, the Midshipmen of Navy 31, Black Knights of Army 7. College football postgame show presented by Rocket Mortgage is up next after these messages. So long from Philadelphia.